this is Natasha with Make Up Your Mind with Natasha LaFay, or with M.B.S. Whole Health, both maybe. I have not sat here and recorded in probably over a year. It has been a long time. It has been a journey, but a good journey. I actually have to record a video for something else, and the way that I needed to get myself motivated to do my makeup was to sit here and do this video. So we're gonna do it old school makeup style, and just chat. Like I said, I have not recorded in forever. There's been a lot of changes, positive changes. I am revamping the channel to be more consistent with my other platforms, to brand with my practice. I don't even know the last time I recorded, honestly. It's been a long time. So let's, I guess, just chat while I'm doing my face. I have my Blessed by Bethany foundation from my makeup company that I share with my mom and my sister. What have I been up to? I literally always do this. I start putting on my makeup and I forget that I did not put on primer every time I do it. But my forehead is the shiniest place, so as long as that is covered, I should be fine. I'm only gonna be wearing this makeup for a couple hours because I actually have a day off today. So I'm not going anywhere. I just need to record a video for my social media. So I need to put something on my face. So obviously, different background. I have not recorded since I moved. So last September, that's how long it's been. It's been longer than that. But last September, I actually bought a house. I closed on my house on maybe the day or two after my birthday last year. So that was my birthday gift to myself and to my kids. So that was exciting. That was a process in itself. I don't know how many people are currently in the home buying process. I know a lot of things have changed with the market over the last couple of years, but I was renting a house after my separation and divorce. I rented a house for a couple of years, and me and my kids decided that we wanted to make a vision board, and that was 2020, right before New Year's of 2021, I think. I can't remember. I'll try and see if I can find the vision board that we made and take a picture of it and add it to this video. But we made a vision board that we wanted to buy a house, and we put on that vision board everything that we wanted in the house, what were we looking for, and I let my kids also put their vision of what they wanted their rooms to look like, and so on and so forth. So I started looking for a house the beginning of last year, and that was a process in itself. Oh, I have a string on my face. That was a process within itself. I, like anyone else who was looking for a house, went and saw so many houses. I ended up putting an offer on a couple. Most of them were rejected. And then I finally got an offer accepted on a house, went through the process of getting the inspection done. There were things that came back on the inspection that I was not happy with, and with me being by myself, just me and my kids, there were certain things I knew that I wouldn't be able to do maintenance on. So I decided not to move forward with that house. I had to, in that process, I felt like I was not getting the best support from my realtor. So I had to completely start over. I got a new realtor. I got a new mortgage company that I was working with. So I started completely over from scratch. And that was in the summer of last year. And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna find a house. I don't think we're gonna check off our goal for our vision board. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it one last shot. I'm gonna start looking again. So I started looking again towards the end of the summer and found a house. Really loved it, really spacious, liked the area, not too far from where my kid's school is. And still within kind of the legal ramifications with my divorce. So I was like, okay, put an offer on it. Was worried about it, obviously, because I had put an offer on so many houses, but my offer was accepted. I didn't have to do too many crazy things. I did have to, because of the market, go over what the asking price was, but it was still within my price range. And yes, I closed on the house September, I think it was September 22nd. My birthday is on the 20th. So September 22nd of last year. So sorry, you can see this dirty mirror. Was really happy, but I don't think it hit me how big of a deal that was. And I talked about this recently, how I literally just closed on the house. I was like, okay, I have to do this, I have to change this, I have to get the house painted. And I never even celebrated the fact that I bought a house on my own. And I never had any type of housewarming or anything like that. I should probably plan something at some point to just have my sorority sisters or whatnot come over. But I think just because of how everything was, I mean, we were still kind of in the midst of everything pandemic related. So trying to get people over was kind of a hassle, and I didn't want to ask people to do that. Plus, I'm just not that great at celebrating myself. So but that was an accomplishment that I had. And then trying to think of everything else, not everything else, but so I bought a house, which I was excited about. My kids loved it. I'll try and put a picture or a sample video in there of me surprising my kids. But bought the house, then major life change for this year. So you guys know that I am a licensed therapist, and I was working part-time for my practice, working full-time for someone else for a company. And I really had to do some stock and even thinking about, when I was thinking about as I was setting up to do this video today, realizing just how depressed, if I'm going to be honest, I was over the last 2 years, kind of going through my life transitions, how stressed I was. And coming into this year, I started going back to therapy. I'm a therapist that goes to therapy. So I went back to therapy, and it was really a conversation on assessing where I was at that point in my life and saying, okay, where in my life do I have stressors, and because at that point I was having difficulty sleeping, I was crying all the time, I was anxious, I was frustrated. I just had a negative overall attitude in my personal life, and I couldn't grasp, okay, what was really the trigger, what was the source, what was really happening. So in doing some work with my therapist, I identified that I had a lot of fear, but I knew that my job was a major source of my stress. I was kind of brought up in a family of entrepreneurs, and even though they still worked really hard, feeling like I'm not employable. Like, I am coachable, but I feel like because I have a vision of how I operate, I have a vision of how I want to run things, I have a vision of really how I want to treat people. I had a team of other therapists under me while I was working at my full-time job, and they were very unhappy and not feeling like I really had any power or anything that I could do to make their lives easier. So I felt stuck in a lot of ways in my full-time job. So worked with my therapist to come up with a plan as far as, okay, how do you build some safety, some security in allowing yourself to walk away from your full-time job and really focus on building my practice full-time. So in doing that, I first hired an assistant, which I desperately needed to give me some support and just kind of the administrative day-to-day of my practice. And then I also hired a CPA to help me understand the business finance portion. And I'm sharing this for anybody who has been thinking about branching out on their own, thinking about starting a business, thinking about, okay, I don't enjoy working for my employer, or it's stressful working for my employer, or I know I'm just overall not fulfilling my purpose working for my employer. I'm sharing this to say, okay, this is how I did it. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but this was my process. So, and it was hard because it was a financial investment. Obviously, I had to pay to say, okay, I'm going to hire an assistant. And luckily it was someone that I actually knew from a while back who was looking for part-time work. And my mom was like, I need some help. My mom was like, just post it on Facebook and see if you get any responses. So I posted on Facebook, hey, I'm looking to hire someone part-time to help me with some admin stuff. And the person that I ended up hiring, she reached out to me immediately. I interviewed her. We talked about the goals and vision of the practice and negotiated kind of a starting salary to hire her part-time. And I was like, okay, I know that I'm starting to get the lipstick mark. I know that I need some help. I know that I need support, and I know that I can't get my practice to where I want it to be by myself. So that was an investment. And then I did some research and tried finding a CPA, and I interviewed a couple of people, and that was also an investment because my CPA is not cheap, but definitely worth it. Because I really needed to understand, okay, what does my day-to-day need to look like in my private practice in order for me to replace what I was making at my full-time job. So talked to him, ran the numbers, got a plan in place to say, okay, I was previously seeing my clients on the weekend and in the evening. So I was building my practice for several years part-time. And then I slowly started to transition my clients from the evenings and weekends, filling in some daytime hours to say, okay, I have enough people to start it. And then what I noticed when I knew that it was definitely time to transition to my full-time practice is because I was constantly getting calls, emails from clients who were interested in working with me, but I couldn't because I was working my full-time job. And I was like, okay, these people that I'm turning around or referring out to other people, I could actually see them and they could work with me if I let go of my full-time job. So I made that decision. And again, going back to my therapy. So I realized in assessing where I was in my life, the only thing that was causing me stress at that point that was really affecting my mood, how I was interacting at home, was my job. That was my primary source of stress. So I needed to do what I needed to do in order to remove that stress, because overall I feel like I've done a lot of work to kind of get myself to a healthier space in the aspect of my depression, dealing with loneliness of obviously having a family, going through divorce, starting over, doing something different with my life. Just do some self-work, I guess, some personal work, and realize that I had a lot of maturing, a lot of growing up to do, because, just giving you a little background, I had never been on my own before. Like, I literally went from living in my parents' house to going to college, having roommates. That whole time I was in college, I had a boyfriend. Broke up with that person. I think we broke up going into my junior year. Dated someone else. That didn't work out. Immediately started dating the person I ultimately married, and we were together, or we were married for 11 years. So 2019 going into 2020 was really the first time that I actually lived by myself, that I didn't have kind of that secure relationship, right? So it was a big emotional transition for me, even though it was something that I wanted, something that I needed. It was a transition nonetheless. So I was going through all the emotions of that. And I share a lot of that journey. If you guys have been watching or go back and watch any of my previous videos, I talk a lot about that process. But there was a lot of soul searching that I needed to do for myself. And I feel like finally this year, I really feel like, okay, I have my groove. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I'm working towards. And I feel like my overall personality in a way has changed for the better. I don't feel like I'm as grumpy or as just angry or upset. And that was one thing, honestly, that my kids recognize. Honestly, or obviously, going through a divorce when you have kids is a hard transition for your children. But one thing my kids have said is that I seem a lot happier now. That's something that they've noticed. And even though I had to go through that hard transition, I can appreciate that they now have a happier mom. Someone that they know that, yes, obviously I still have my moments where I'm stressed, but we are able to have fun and do life together, and I'm not working 50 plus hours a week. Like, I'm more present than I was, and that's something that they recognize. So it's good that they recognize that. Shows me that I am making some improvement. So I've been working my private practice full time. I quit my job in April, May. I think my last day was sometime in May. And I have been doing my full practice, M.B.S. Whole Health, full time since then. And it has really been a blessing because God is faithful. I have already made more in my private practice than I was making at my full-time job. And I still have a wait list. I was able to hire or bring on my assistant that I hired for additional hours to help support me more. And we are actually hiring other therapists to work with me at my practice because I don't like having a wait list. Other people who are needing services, who are reaching out to me, they need help now, and putting them on a wait list isn't beneficial. So being able to have other therapists work with me helps to serve that need, helps serve population of people who really want the support and they need it as soon as possible. So we are in the process. We've already hired one therapist. We are currently looking for 3 more, hopefully before the end of the year. We have some goals come January 1st. And we are working on developing some mental health products. So we've developed 3 mental health journals that will be launched before the end of the year. And we'll be coming out with a planner that will be launched before the end of the year for 2023. And working on like some bookmarks. What else are we working on? Oh, we're launching a podcast. So I know when I first launched this channel, it was called Make Up Your Mind with Natasha LaFay because I was doing this. I was doing my makeup. I was talking. I was putting you guys all in my business just to have a transparent conversation about mental health. But as we streamline and also put the podcast on this channel, I wanted to make it more universal. So I'll have playlists. So there'll still be my Make Up Your Mind with Natasha LaFay playlist. I'm thinking about moving my Sisterlocks to a different channel, but my Sisterlocks videos will still be on my Sisterlocks playlist, and then we'll create another playlist for the podcast. The podcast is called This Therapist Has Problems Podcast, because I'm a therapist and child, I got problems. So I just want to have really, just same as this, right? I want to have really natural, honest, transparent conversations. Even though I am a therapist, I am a real person. I deal with real problems, but I don't get too stuck in my problems, right? I try and navigate through them and really try and help other people be able to do the same. So we are launching the podcast, and I say we because my co-host is my assistant. Her name is Shawnee, and she is helping me with the podcast. So she will be my co-host, and then we'll also have guests, some other mental health professionals, some lay people looking to have both men and women on the podcast and just have some really healthy dialogue. What else are we doing? Talked about the journals, talked about kind of the other like bookmarks and things like that, talked about the podcast. I'm launching 2 courses. I've been busy, but it's been good busy. I am launching 2 courses, so I'm really interested in helping show other people how to start their businesses. Same way that I was able to launch my private practice, and it was not an overnight, oh, you just wake up and just do this process. Like, I really want to help people understand. And I've already helped like people that I previously worked with who were also stressed and knew that they needed to do something different. I walked them through the steps of getting their private practice started, and they're doing pretty well. So I am developing a course to help people understand how to start their own private practice, or I am also doing business coaching. So if you're not a therapist, I can help you to kind of get up and running with whatever business that you're working on. And then also I'm working on launching a life certification course. So I work with a lot of people who may not want to necessarily go the route of getting fully certified as a therapist, but they do want to be a helper. And then also working with ministers who I feel do need to have some type of coaching certification if they're not going to kind of go the full therapy route, just because they are oftentimes the first line of defense working with people in their churches. So I feel like they need to understand a lot about what the helping profession looks like in a way that covers them, as well as helps to cover whoever's coming to them seeking support, and then for them to understand when it is appropriate to refer out to a licensed health professional. So I know that churches need some education about mental health to understand that can't just pray mental health issues away, right? You need to have a plan. You need to know exactly what that looks like and how to get the best support out there, while also helping pastors and ministers to understand how to take care of their own mental health, because they do have people coming to them a lot for support. So those are, I mean, it's a mouthful. I know I just said a lot, but I said all that to say that I love what I do. I love that I am able to do that for myself with my own company, and that I have the freedom to decide what I want my life to look like at this point. And also I love that I can help other people be able to do the same. This is an industry where there are so many people who are hurting, so many people who need help. And it's not just about me wanting to build my practice and have all the therapists to do all the things. I want to train therapists on how to be the best that they can be, so that we can help as many people as possible, because there is a shortage of good therapists, especially good therapists who look like me in this field. So if I can do my part to help train people, I want to be able to do that. What else has been going on? I feel like I'm just happy. I'm much happier than I was probably the last time I sat right here and recorded a video. I feel like obviously I still need to learn how to balance life, right? Dealing with all the things that I just mentioned I'm doing with my practice, but also trying to balance just being present. So I am a part of a sorority. I am a part of Theta Phi Beta and Sorority Incorporated, to be exact. And I just chartered a chapter in my area. So I'm very active with my chapter members, which I desperately needed. That was a goal that I had for myself, that I really needed to work on building my social life, because while I was married, I didn't really have one. So that has been a blessing, honestly, to be able to spend time with my sorority sisters, really have that connection. And it's not just going to meetings and doing community service, which I love and is very important. But I joined my sorority because I really needed the sisterhood. I really needed that line of support to say, okay, I'm not having a good day, or I am having a great day and I want to go out and hang out and do fun things with my friends. So it's a balance that I really enjoy. And then I also been working just to connect with people, connect with other professionals, connect with other people in the industry, and really try and, I don't like, network seems so stuffy, but just to be able to get out and just talk with people, spend time with people, and it's not necessarily business related. So I've been working to improve my social life, and I just been working on being me, working on being a mom, spending time with my kids. I have lots of planes and trains that go by my house, so I'm learning to tune it out. Mascara, scissors, serious business. Oh, can we talk about skincare? I realized that I was moisturizing my face wrong forever. So I was looking at something about moisturizing your locks, actually, how to get moisture in your locks. And someone wrote on there that oil does not provide moisture, it locks in moisture. And I said, I've been having issues with my face feeling, looking, being dry. And I put oil on my face, but I've been doing it in the wrong order. So before, I was washing my face, putting on toner, putting on oil, putting on moisturizer, putting on sunscreen, then putting on primer. But after I heard that, I started putting on my toner, putting on my moisturizer, then putting on the oil to seal in my moisturizer, and my face has looked so much better. So I don't know if I'm just the only slow one who didn't know that. But if you needed to grab onto that tip, grab onto it, because I feel like my face looks so much just healthier. I just feel like because maybe I was locking all of the moisture out of my face by putting the oil on before I put on the moisturizer, it just wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. But now I feel like it looks better. I'm almost done. I like to put on liquid is it cream? Technically cream, I guess. Highlighter. I feel like the powder can be a little chunky. So my face is mostly Blessed by Bethany with some other products thrown in there. Trying to get it a little natural. It's cold and rainy today, so going a little natural. I do put highlighter on my forehead, even though my forehead is a little large. I still want it to have a little glow, so I do put highlighter on my forehead a little bit. You can see highlight, but it's not chunky. It blends in pretty well to my makeup. And this is the L'Oreal, and I have a hard time finding this in store. The L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion, and this is the Deep Glow. I don't know if you can see that, but this has been the best liquid highlighter, and it's cheap. It's a drugstore. I think I got this at Target. Pretty good. What else? For anyone who's interested, I guess I can give you a quick update on my locks since I am here and I have not done an update on my locks in forever. Let me scooch back a little. So my locks have grown a lot since I last recorded a video. Pick up. This is tea in third flow because I'm not feeling the best. So I'm trying to take care of myself. Okay. So my locks have grown a lot. My edges are trying to grow in. If anyone saw my very first installation video, you know how bad my edges looked when I first got my install done. But let me take this off. I switched, that's another change in my life. I switched my loctician. The person who installed my locks is not the person who is currently maintaining my locks. I did that for a couple of reasons. One is just that my loctician just moved far and it was about an hour drive to and from, and that just took up a lot of my day. But also I feel like I just wanted to have more connection. So the person who does my locks now is my sorority sister. And I love her. I love having that time to just bond with her and connect with her. Her positive energy is everything, and I think she just breathes life into my hair. So I just got my hair retightened a couple of days ago. So hopefully you can see what it's looking like. But I feel like they look healthier. I've had a lot of my locks combined because honestly some of them were just way too small. I have had some locks that broke off because they were just really tiny. So she has been combining some locks for me. Honestly, I'm like, can you combine a couple more? But my hair has grown a lot. I've been locked for, I don't know exactly how long. I got locked in 2020, so about over 2.5 years I've had my hair locked, and it has been the best decision ever. I'll do a spinny spin. So there's my hair. I tried to do, oh, I forgot about one thing. I have been focusing on my physical health. That has helped me so much. I did CrossFit many years ago. Didn't have the best experience with it just because of the gym, and it just, there's not a lot of people who look like me who does CrossFit. And the vibes just didn't feel good. So I ended up just stopping going. But I was actually talking to a client and they mentioned CrossFit, and I was like, you know what, I need to get back into it because I've been struggling with just dropping weight and wanting to get my body to where I want it to be. And I know that for me, I'm not one who can just sign up for a gym membership. I need something that is structured, I need something that is scheduled, and I need someone who tells me, okay, this is what you do, this is for how long you do it, and this is when you can go home. So CrossFit was what I know has worked for me to lose weight in the past. And so I recently, maybe 2.5 months ago, I joined a CrossFit gym that's pretty close to my house. And I love it. So I have been actively working to lose weight, and probably since the beginning of this year, I probably have lost 25-ish pounds. I don't remember exactly what my biggest weight was. There was a long point in my life where I did not like the scale. I didn't have a scale. I was not getting on one. But It feels good to finally be focusing on just my physical health and making sure that I am in a healthy place all around. I feel like I've done a lot of work here, right? Doing my mental health work, going to therapy, working on myself, working on kind of the business, creative side of myself. But I really need to tap into, okay, what is happening here? So the fact that I am on camera with a sleeveless shirt on, I'm working to accept all of this as I am also working to improve all of this. So that has been a very positive change, not just for me physically, but also for my overall mental health. So I have said a lot of words. I've taken a lot of time. You've seen me do my face. You've seen me show off my locks. So if you were here for Make Up Your Mind for Natasha LaFay, you got that. If you were here for Sisterlocks, you got that. If you were here for M.B.S Whole Health as a whole, you got that as well. I'm looking forward to everything that we have coming. I guess I can put something on my lips while I'm talking. Everything that we have coming with this channel in the upcoming year. I'm looking forward to continue to grow as a person, as a therapist, as a business owner. I'm looking forward to you guys coming along this journey and getting what you need out of it. This is not just me talking out into nothingness, right? I know that there are people who watch, who listen, and I hope there will be more, especially as we upload episodes of the podcast, which I love. We've already recorded maybe 5 or so episodes, and they are great. I'm grabbing a lot of things from behind me. They're honest, they're transparent, but they're also really funny, which I enjoy. So it's not a stuffy mental health podcast. We are talking about our truths, we're sharing about ourselves, but we're also dropping really helpful tips and also just having fun and kicking it. 2 girls from Detroit, sharing our stories. So I hope that you do enjoy the podcast. I hope that you can accept the changes, revamping that we're doing and I'm doing to the channel, and know that I will try my best to pop in and be, Natasha LaFay, make up your mind, do some makeup, and just have some chats. Especially I want to create some dialogue around the topics that we're sharing on the podcast so that you guys have a space to share. So we'll try, and we started a Facebook group. So if you're on Facebook, join. I'll drop it in below. I can't remember the name of the group. I think it's We All Have Problems Facebook group, but I'm not sure. So I'll put a link to that below if you want to join in and just get a part of the group while we're building up everything and working to drop some episodes. But we do want to have dialogue, so I want to do some lives where I can talk to you guys. Let's just talk about mental health stuff, talk about what we're dealing with. You're not alone. You're not alone in what you're dealing with. We all have problems, even this therapist. I got problems, but I'm working through them, and that's the whole point. I want you to understand that we deal with struggles, right? We deal with things that happen in our lives, but we don't have to stay stuck in it. We can work through those things, get to a better place, but then help other people who are going through those same things to be able to move forward as well. So, thank you for listening. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you. I appreciate you for listening and catching up with me today on everything that has happened in the last year. I missed a ton of things, I'm sure, but as you join in and listen to the podcast, you'll get more information. We'll start, a dialogue. How you guys are liking? I went natural. My natural face. A little light highlight, but you have not heard it today. I love you. I love you. I love you. Make up your mind to let yourself have a beautiful day, and we will see you next time. Look out for the podcast. This therapist has problems dropping before the end of the year. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you will know when we are uploading for the podcast. You don't want to miss it. It is going to be a great time. I will see you soon. Bye.